Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most talked about moments in daytime television history. Today, we're diving deep into the shocking incident where Sunny Hostin, the sharp-witted co-host of The View, reportedly kicked country music icon Reba McEntire right off the set following a viral clash that has the internet buzzing like never before. Picture this, the bustling studio in New York City, lights glaring, audience applauding as Reba, with her signature red hair and warm smile, steps onto the stage to promote her latest Broadway venture or perhaps her timeless hits that have spanned decades. The View, known for its unfiltered discussions on politics, pop culture, and everything in between, has always been a hotbed for passionate debates. But this time, things escalated faster than a twister in Oklahoma. Sunny Hostin, a former federal prosecutor turned television personality, is no stranger to calling out what she sees as inconsistencies or hypocrisies, especially when it comes to celebrity involvement in social issues. Reba, on the other hand, has built her career on heartfelt country ballads that touch on love, loss, and life's simple joys, often steering clear of the political fray to keep her universal appeal intact. But on this fateful day in early September 2025, their worlds collided in a way no one saw coming. It all started innocently enough, with Whoopi Goldberg, the show's moderator, introducing Reba as a guest to chat about her enduring legacy in music and acting. The audience was thrilled. Reba's down-home charm has always been a breath of fresh air on the fast-paced talk show circuit. As the conversation flowed, topics ranged from Reba's role in the hit TV series she starred in years ago to her thoughts on modern country music's evolution. Sunny, seated to Whoopi's right, leaned in with her trademark intensity, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. She began by praising Reba's resilience, mentioning how the singer had bounced back from personal tragedies like divorces and the loss of loved ones, turning pain into platinum records. Reba graciously accepted the compliments, her southern drawl filling the studio with warmth as she shared anecdotes from her early days performing in honky-tonks across the heartland. But then, as is often the case on The View, the discussion pivoted to something more controversial. Joy Behar, ever the provocateur, brought up the role of entertainers in addressing current events, specifically touching on the ongoing debates around social justice and celebrity activism. Reba, recalling her past appearances on the show dating back to 2017 when she guest co-hosted, nodded thoughtfully. Back then, she had expressed a clear stance: entertainers should provide escapism, not preach politics from the stage. I want people to leave my shows feeling uplifted, not burdened with my views, she had said, a philosophy that resonated with many fans tired of overt partisanship in Hollywood. Sunny, however, saw an opening to probe deeper. With her legal background, she has a knack for dissecting statements, and she gently but firmly challenged Reba on whether that stance held up in today's polarized climate. The audience shifted in their seats, sensing the tension building like a storm cloud on the horizon. Reba responded with poise, explaining that her silence on certain issues wasn't apathy but a deliberate choice to unite rather than divide. Yet, Sunny pressed on, her voice rising slightly as she referenced recent viral moments where country stars had dipped into political waters, implying that Reba's neutrality might come across as sidestepping responsibility. The clash was subtle at first, words flying like sparks, but it quickly ignited into something far more intense. Whoopi tried to mediate, her deep voice cutting through the chatter, but the damage was done. The viral video clips that would soon flood social media captured every micro-expression: Reba's furrowed brow, Sunny's pointed finger, the collective gasp from the crowd. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a cultural showdown between old-school entertainment values and the demand for outspoken advocacy. As the argument heated up, production staff exchanged worried glances off-camera, whispering into headsets about commercial breaks and potential fallout. Little did they know, this moment would redefine Reba's relationship with mainstream talk shows and spark endless debates online about free speech, celebrity ethics, and the boundaries of live television. Reba, feeling cornered, raised her voice for the first time, defending her life's work as a beacon of positivity amid chaos. Sunny, undeterred, countered with statistics on how silence in the face of injustice perpetuates inequality, drawing from her own experiences as a black woman in media. The exchange was raw, unscripted, and utterly captivating, pulling in viewers who tuned in just for the drama. By the time the segment wrapped, the air was thick with unresolved tension, and whispers of an abrupt exit began to circulate backstage. This incident didn't just make headlines, it became a symbol of the generational and ideological divides playing out in American entertainment. Fans of Reba rallied on social media, hailing her as a voice of reason, while supporters of The View praised Sunny for holding power to account. The viral nature of the clash amplified every detail, from Reba's teary-eyed response to Sunny's unapologetic stance, turning a single episode into a cultural phenomenon. As we unpack this further, remember that behind the glamour, these are real people navigating a minefield of public scrutiny. The fallout would be swift and severe, but the spark? It was lit right there on that hot seat. And folks, that's just the beginning of this wild ride. Now, let's rewind a bit and set the stage for how this confrontation unfolded in real time, because understanding the buildup is key to grasping the shockwaves it sent through the industry. The episode in question aired on September 7, 2025, a Thursday morning slot that's prime time for The View's loyal audience of millions. Reba McEntire, at 70 years young, was there to discuss her upcoming projects, including a potential revival of her sitcom and her continued influence on Nashville's scene. Dressed in a sparkling cowgirl ensemble that paid homage to her roots, she exuded confidence as she hugged each co-host upon arrival. Sunny Hostin, 56 and radiating her signature elegance in a tailored blazer, had prepared notes on Reba's career, but also on broader themes that often dominate the show's discourse. The opening banter was lighthearted. Sarah Haynes cracked jokes about Reba's timeless beauty, and Anna Navarro shared a story of how Reba's music got her through tough times. But as the panel delved into guest questions, Sunny steered the conversation toward Reba's views on unity in divided times. Drawing from Reba's 2017 appearance, where she advocated for entertainers to avoid politics, Sunny asked if that philosophy still applied amid escalating national tensions. Reba affirmed it, saying, "My job is to sing about the heart, not the headlines." That's when the tone shifted. Sunny, with her prosecutorial precision, pointed out that country music, Reba's domain, has increasingly intertwined with political narratives, citing examples of artists endorsing candidates or speaking on gun rights and immigration. Reba, caught off guard, explained her personal boundary: "I respect those who speak out, but for me, the stage is sacred ground for joy." The audience murmured in agreement, but Sunny wasn't buying it entirely. She leaned forward, her eyes locking with Reba's, and said, "With great platform comes great responsibility." Reba, staying silent can be seen as complicity. The words hung heavy, and Reba's face flushed as she retorted, "Complicity? I've spent my life bringing people together through song, not tearing them apart with opinions." The clash escalated as Sunny referenced specific events, like protests at concerts and the role of celebrities in voter mobilization, arguing that neutrality in 2025 felt outdated. Reba, her voice steady but laced with emotion, shared a personal story of losing fans over perceived stances, emphasizing how her approach preserved her broad appeal. Whoopi interjected, trying to pivot to lighter topics, but Joy jumped in, siding somewhat with Sunny by noting how entertainment shapes culture. The back and forth grew heated, with Reba accusing the panel of badgering her into a corner she never intended to enter. Sunny, feeling the pushback, raised her tone, declaring, "This isn't badgering, it's accountability." The studio fell silent for a beat, then erupted in applause from divided sections of the crowd. Off mic, producers signaled for a break, but the damage was irreparable. As cameras rolled back from commercial, Reba's chair was noticeably empty in some fan-captured footage that leaked online, fueling rumors of an immediate escort out. Eyewitness accounts from crew members described Sunny standing firm, gesturing emphatically, while Reba gathered her things with a mix of frustration and dignity. This viral moment wasn't just about words, it highlighted the chasm between social media elites and heartland values, with Reba representing the latter. Social media exploded within minutes. Hashtags like #Reba kicked off and #Sunny vs Reba trending worldwide. Clips dissected every pause, every gesture, turning the incident into a meme fest. Reba's fans defended her as a national treasure undeserving of such treatment, while the View's audience appreciated their honesty. Behind the scenes, tensions simmered. Reba reportedly confided in a producer about feeling ambushed, while Sonny later reflected in a post-show meeting on the importance of tough questions. This clash wasn't isolated. It echoed past View controversies, like debates over celebrity endorsements, but this one felt personal. Reba's exit, whether forced or chosen, became the stuff of legend, with videos racking up millions of views. As the day progressed, statements poured in from both camps, but the core issue remained. In an era of cancel culture and call-outs, where does one draw the line between discussion and disrespect? The viral spread amplified voices from all sides, from conservative outlets praising Reba's grace to progressive ones lauding Sonny's boldness. This event forced a reckoning in talk show formats, questioning how far hosts should push guests. Reba, ever the professional, didn't bash the show publicly at first, but her subtle social media post about staying true to one's lane spoke volumes. Sonny, true to form, owned her role without apology. The aftermath saw spikes in ratings for The View, proving drama sells, but at what cost to relationships? As we continue, we'll explore the immediate reactions and how this moment rippled through celebrity circles. Delving into the heart of the confrontation, it's essential to examine the specific trigger words and body language that turned a routine interview into a full-blown spectacle. Midway through the segment, after Reba had charmed the panel with tales of her ranch life and horse-riding escapades, Sonny pivoted sharply to the elephant in the room, Reba's perceived avoidance of hot-button issues like racial equity and LGBTQ+ rights, topics that have defined much of The View's agenda. Sonny, drawing from her own advocacy work, posed a direct question. Reba, you've got this massive platform, why not use it to speak on matters that affect so many of your fans? Reba, sipping water to compose herself, replied with her folksy wisdom, "Darlin', I let my actions speak. I've supported charities quietly for years, but on stage, it's about the music healing hearts." This response, while earnest, struck a nerve with Sonny, who saw it as deflection. Her eyes narrowed, and she countered, "Actions without voice can be invisible, especially for those in marginalized communities who look to icons like you." The audience leaned in, the energy palpable as Reba pushed back. "I've been an icon for all kinds of folks, Sonny, and preaching divides more than it unites." That's when the clash ignited as Sonny's hand slammed lightly on the desk, not in anger but emphasis, as she listed examples of country artists who had evolved, implying Reba was stuck in the past. Reba's posture stiffened, her smile fading into a determined line, and she fired back, "Evolved? I've been evolving since the 70s. But I won't apologize for keeping it positive." The exchange accelerated, with Sonny accusing Reba of benefiting from systemic privileges without acknowledging them, a charge that hit hard given Reba's rags-to-riches story. Reba, voice rising, defended her authenticity. "I came from nothing, worked my tail off, no privileges there." Whoopi attempted to diffuse with humor, quipping about needing a referee, but Anna piled on, agreeing with Sonny that silence equates to endorsement of the status quo. The viral clips captured Reba's hands gesturing wildly, a rarity for the composed star, as she exclaimed, "This is why I stay out of it. You turn everything into a fight." Sonny, unflinching, replied, "Because sometimes a fight is necessary for change." The studio buzzed, some cheering Reba's candor, others Sonny's fire. In that moment, the clash transcended personal. It became a proxy for broader cultural wars. Reba, feeling the heat, stood briefly as if to leave, but sat back down, only for the argument to loop back. Production cut to break mid the chaos, but sneaky phone videos from attendees showed security approaching as Reba finally exited post-commercial. Sonny's decision to kick her off, as headlines screamed, stemmed from her insistence that the discussion continue, but Reba declined, citing discomfort. This raw interplay of words revealed deep-seated differences. Sonny's activism rooted in legal and personal battles against injustice, versus Reba's ethos of universal appeal through entertainment. The viral aspect exploded because it was unpolished and no scripted apologies, just pure emotion. Online, breakdowns analyzed tones, with linguists noting Sunny's assertive phrasing versus Reba's defensive southern lilt. Fans dissected it frame by frame, turning the 10-minute segment into hours of content. This incident underscored The View's format risks, where guests expect promotion but get interrogation. Reba's team later clarified she left voluntarily, but the optics of security escorting her fueled the kicked-off narrative. Sunny, in a follow-up tweet, expressed respect for Reba but stood by her questions, igniting more debate. The clash's virality stemmed from its relatability. Who hasn't felt cornered in a conversation? It sparked podcasts, articles, and even parody skits, cementing its place in TV lore. As reactions poured in, celebrities weighed in, from Dolly Parton defending Reba's style to other View alumni reflecting on past tensions. This moment wasn't just entertainment. It was a mirror to society's expectations of fame. The immediate aftermath of this viral clash was nothing short of chaotic, with social media lighting up faster than a 4th of July fireworks show and news outlets scrambling to cover every angle. Within hours of the episode airing on September 7, 2025, clips hit TikTok, Twitter and Instagram Reels, amassing over 50 million views by evening. #Reba vs Sunny trended globally, with fans divided into camps. Team Reba decried the ambush as disrespectful to a legend, flooding Reba's page with heart emojis and pleas for her return to TV. One viral tweet read, "Sunny turned The View into the Inquisition and let Reba sing in peace." Meanwhile, Team Sunny hailed her as a truth teller, with posts like, "Finally, someone holds country stars accountable for their silence on real issues." Conservative media, from Fox News to Breitbart, framed it as liberal bullying of traditional values, interviewing Reba's longtime fans who felt her heartland perspective was under attack. Progressive outlets like MSNBC praised Sunny's boldness, linking it to her history of calling out inequities. Reba, from her Oklahoma ranch, posted a cryptic Instagram story, a photo of her with her horses, captioned "Home is where the heart is," which fans interpreted as shading the New York studio drama. Sunny, ever media savvy, appeared on a late-night follow-up via Zoom, saying, "I respect Reba immensely, but tough conversations are what we do here." The View's ratings skyrocketed, up 40% the next day, proving controversy equals clicks. Behind closed doors, ABC executives held emergency meetings, weighing PR damage against buzz benefits. Reba's publicist issued a statement. Reba left the set after a spirited discussion. She wishes the ladies of The View all the best, but whispers suggested hurt feelings, with Reba opting out of future appearances. Celebrities chimed in. Garth Brooks tweeted support for Reba, calling her the queen of class, while Alyssa Milano backed Sunny, tweeting, "Accountability isn't ambush." Late-night hosts pounced. Jimmy Fallon did a skit mimicking the argument with puppets, while Goldberg joked about needing country therapy for the panel. The viral wave extended to memes, Reba's shocked face photoshopped onto historical clashes, Sunny's gesture turned into gifs of calling out. Fan theories abounded. Was it staged for ratings? Unlikely, given the raw emotion. Public reaction split along lines, with polls showing 55% siding with Reba for her grace under fire. This incident boosted Reba's streams by 30%, as fans rallied with playlist shares, while Sunny's book sales on racial justice surged. The clash's reach went international, with UK tabloids dubbing it Yankee Yell Out. Family reactions added layers. Reba's son, Shelby, posted a proud dad update, while Sunny's husband defended her online amid unrelated personal news. The media frenzy lasted days, with think pieces in the New York Times analyzing it as a symptom of America's divide. Ultimately, the aftermath solidified both women's brands: Reba as resilient icon, Sunny as fearless voice, but at the cost of a potential bridge burned. As the dust settled, calls for reconciliation emerged, but the viral scar remained. Looking at the broader implications, this clash between Sunny Hostin and Reba McEntire transcends a single TV spat, shining a spotlight on the evolving role of celebrities in public discourse and the tightrope talk shows walk in an age of instant virality. The View, since its inception in 1997, has thrived on bold opinions, but incidents like this raise questions about guest treatment and content boundaries. Sunny's approach, rooted in her prosecutorial past and personal advocacy for diversity, embodies the show's shift toward accountability journalism in entertainment form.